Okay, so let's start by asking ourselves, what is a for loop? In essence, it's a while loop with an initial state, okay, a condition and an interactive instruction, okay. So for instance, let's take a look at this generic for loop, okay, right here. So let's take a look at this one right here, not that one. Let's take a look at this one right here. Okay, so let's take a look at this flow chart. Okay, so as you can see here, we start by initializing. Okay, initializing, we are creating an initial state. Okay, so from there we have a certain condition. Okay, so we test this condition. Okay, and if it is true, then we perform a certain action, and then we increment. Okay, we increment a certain variable, and then we go back to the top, and then we check the condition again, like that. Okay, we continue the loop. Okay, and if we check the condition again the next time, and when it is false, when that condition results in a false value, okay, then what we are going to do is to end our loop. Okay, we end our loop like that. Okay, so we can take a look. Let's take a look at this this one here. So it looks like this. Okay, so we use the for keyword, then we start by initializing, okay, a certain variable, and then we write our condition. Okay, so here we're having a problem. We write our condition right here, and then we increment that variable that we have initialized, and then we perform some actions. Okay, and then we continue as long as the condition is still true. Okay, so we continue by when we are checking. Okay, so we check the condition, we perform an action, a certain action, and then we repeat, we check the condition, and then we perform that action again, like that. Okay, it happens like that. Okay, so this one, that code gets translated into something like this. So let me show you. So it gets translated into this pseudo while loop. Okay, so we start by initializing, okay, and then we perform a while loop, as you can see here. While then we check for the condition, we perform action, then we increment, we go back, we check the condition, we perform action, we increment it like that until the condition is false. Okay, so and this one it turns in turn gets translated into this while loop, or do while loop. Okay, so because we know that the while loop gets translated into a do while loop. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, so we have the if statement, and then inside that if statement we have a do while loop. Okay, and as you can see, we have an initial state right here. Okay, so like that. Okay, you should note that often in for loops you assign an initial constant value in the one that we saw at first. For example, we can set, if we had our variable x, we can set it to be equals to 0, and then we compare that value with another constant. For example, b, we could say that x is less than, if x is less than 10, like that, and yeah, like that. Okay, so most optimizing compilers will be able to notice that the first time x is less than 10, and therefore there is no need for the initial if b statement. Okay, so in such cases the compiler will simply generate this sequence. Okay, will generate this sequence right here. So this one here. Okay, this one here, as you can see, initial sequence, and then if statement here, and then inside a do while loop which performs some action, increment a value, and then perform a while loop. Okay, like that. Okay, so like that. Okay, so in the next part we shall take a look at other loop types, okay, that exist in other programming languages. Okay.